boy, you lost your job. Sorry to hear that. I got this vest on here. I don't know where I'm going with this, but lost your job. I'm sorry to hear that. And that's happened to me in the past. And, I think we all know someone that's happened to. And, well, we're going to talk about how to get through the loss of a job and how to come out the other side winning. But first, you get the bad news. You lost your job for whatever reason. And, well, you're supposed to do two things. You're supposed to cry and you're supposed to freak out. No shit. You should do that. You should cry, freak out, be angry, be scared, feel bad for yourself. I'm not joking. You need to go through that. You need to feel that for 48 hours, and then after that, time to roll up the sleeves and we got to get on it, baby. Assuming, most people don't, but you're assuming you don't have some nest egg where you're like, I got $1 million in the bank. I could just don't do anything. I don't care. If you're like most people, and the more obligations you have, if you're a single person, it's going to be tough, right? But if you're married, it might not be as tough. But if you're married with children, really tough. If you're a single parent and children, super tough. So there's a lot of different moving parts, so to speak. But like if you're like most Americans, you lose your job. It's very, very stressful. Your pride is hurt, your self-value and worth is hurt, and in this day and age, it's not like it's the 1920s or 1940s or 1950s where it's like, I can just walk outside and get a new job and I can raise a whole family on just working, selling shoes, like those days are over. So like I said, it's happened to me in the past, and it's happened to my father. I remember, like if you're a kid and you see a parent lose a job, it's very stressful because it's like you have no control, right? What am I? They're stressed too, the kids, So it's like, what's going to happen? Are we going to have an apartment? Are we going to have a house? Are we going to eat? So I think there's a lot of moving parts there too, and it's incumbent upon a parent to tell your children, hey, even if they're 15, 16, 17, 18, it's going to be fine. We're going to work it out. If they start to see you freak out, that's not helping. Freak out in private. You know what I mean? Go for a walk, go for a drive, freak out. But also know things will get better, really. It does suck, but you got to remember, money is not our God. You know what I mean? So don't make this job your God either. You will find something new. So how to get through this? So again, you freak out in private. You should feel bad for yourself. 48 hours. I would say that after that, you're gonna get the resume bullshit. They're gonna offer me free help to work on my resume. Wah, wah. Like that's BS. It really is gonna come down to, in this day and age, connections. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So if you're someone who's relatively social, and most of us are, if you don't have social media, I know you don't want to hear this, but you got to get on social media, because this is a portal, a platform that will be able to help you find a new job. Now, I'm not saying you should go crying on social media like, somebody help me, I lost my job. But, if you're on Facebook and Instagram, particularly, maybe X, being able to, be humble and say, hey, everyone, just got laid off or lost my job. I'm looking for, a new position in this field that I'm an expert in, or this is what I have experience in. Could be retail, could be science, could be construction, whatever. You'd be surprised. People will snap, boom. Okay, hey, yeah, I know somebody. Oh, I can help you, but you got to be humble. Now, if you're not on social media and you're just going to get on just to say someone help me, it's probably not going to work, because social media is a reflection of, reality, and you can't just call up friends you haven't spoken to in 30 years and be like, hey, can you help me? It's like, hey, where were you for the past 30 years? You know what I mean? So I would say get on social media, just have a presence, and you're going to have to kind of spend some time on social media, 10, 15 minutes a day for a few months. And then, you can mention, hey, I'm looking for something. You got to be humble, Now, if you're like, fuck that, I don't need social media. All right, well, then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. The other thing I would say is volunteer. Because, hey, now you have some time, right? Volunteer. You'd be surprised where volunteer work will take you, because volunteer work, where are you going to volunteer? For your church, your synagogue, your mosque, your community center, coaching, whatever it may be, working at the dog pound, literally. Like, the hospitals. There's so many volunteer opportunities. Just go on Google, ask around. Once you're volunteering, oftentimes, not all the time, but oftentimes, those volunteer positions can turn into paid positions. Now, I understand you're making $1 gazillion a day. I can't afford anything less, but you have nothing else going on. The other thing is when you volunteer, it'll be good for you mentally because you won't be focusing on me, 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 me. Look at me, poor me, poor me. Oh my God, me, 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 me. You get your mind off of stuff and you're helping out, right? And the other thing is people who volunteer, not all the time, but there's a lot of high rollers, a lot of people who are wealthy who like to give back and volunteer. So guess what? You're probably going to be rubbing shoulders with them. Oh wow, I didn't know you own that engineering firm. Oh my God, well oh wow, you didn't earn you own that construction firm. Well, yeah, as you're like helping sweep the floor at the church or whatever. You know what I mean? So get involved, join your men's groups or whatever. And again, I don't want to do that. Well, if you don't want to do it, you're putting yourself at more disadvantage because you just sending out a resume into the universe is almost like doing nothing. You really got to get out there. The other thing I would say is you're gonna have to more than likely in modern day times, unless you have such a um, high valued training. Like if you're a neurosurgeon, okay, you're probably going to wind up making a horizontal move or maybe even a vertical move. You got one hospital shut down, you go to another one, you make as much or more money. But if you're like most Americans, maybe you went to college or you have a job, you're in an office, you're probably not going to make as much anymore, depending too. Like if you're in your 40s versus if you got laid off in your 20s, so you have to kind of be open to, okay, I have a new job, but it doesn't pay as much. So maybe you're going to have to get a, part-time job or a side hustle. You got to think about that. I have a number of friends who have been laid off in the past and, they were making, whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe they might not make 500,000 anymore. Maybe they'll make 300,000, and you may be like, well, that's a lot of money. Well, it's relative, right? If you're used to living that $500,000 lifestyle and now you get knocked down to $300,000 or $200,000, you know what I mean? So you got to really triage. Okay, maybe you're not going on vacations anymore. Maybe you're not getting a new car every 3 years. Maybe, you're going to go and shop at Walmart for clothing from now on, so these are different things. I'm sure you know that. But the other thing is I would say, but yeah, you have to expect maybe to make a little less when you get a new job. So don't be that person like, I will not accept anything less. I went to college. Everybody went to college, bro. Shut up. So I would say the other thing is, be humble. It's not, nobody likes to ask around. Hey, you know anybody? Nobody wants to take a part-time job or drive an Uber for a few months. While you're searching, but depending on what kind of setup you have, I mean, like I said, if you got some nice cushion nest egg that you can be like, I don't care, I could just relax for the next couple of months. I don't even have to work. Okay, well, you do you then. But like if you're like most Americans, maybe you're gonna have to get a little side hustle while you're looking for a new job. So maybe work at Home Depot or Uber, or there's so many apps where you can make a little side money, things like that. Speaking of side hustles, you may want to think about that too. Incorporating a side hustle into your life from now on, even when you get that new job, because presumably, the odds are you can get laid off or lose that other job that you're going to get. So it's always nice to have that side hustle where whatever it may be, maybe you're good with your hands, you're a good painter, you're a good landscaper, maybe you're good at babysitting, maybe you're good at walking dogs. Like it's nice to have that side hustle, just to kind of be a constant. In a way, you're your own business owner. Speaking of which, you can go into your own business. It'll be tough, but today, in many ways, it's easier than ever before because you have apps, you have software, you have networking, you have social media that can help you. What else? So those are the things I would say. Like when you lose your job, it sucks, but I know how you feel. Like it happened to me, and you just have to, yeah, man, just breathe, and look around what's important, your life, your health, your family, your sanity. You got it all more than likely. Money, you'll find a new job. What? You're gonna have to what? Downsize? Okay. You know, you'll be all right. But and you might have to work 2 or 3 jobs, or you might have to work 4 or 5 jobs, or you might make less money, or you might make more money. But I think the key to getting the job after you got laid off or let go is to network, but in an authentic way. Again, join volunteer groups, get on social media, make some jokes. Hey, the Yankees they stink, whatever. You start talking to people, then you can message somebody. Hey man, are you still working at that accounting firm? Because I just lost my job. You can message them. I think that's the beauty. That's when social media is at its best. Is things like that. But again, you can't just be on social media if you've never been on it, and then all of a sudden, like, hey guys, I'm here, I need a job. Like, people don't like that kind of shit. So like, if you're, just kind of hanging around social media, every day you're checking, liking people's stories and things like that, and you might even see posts. By the way, join town pages of Facebook, because there's so many, towns in your area that are probably looking for work. You get these posts. It's like, oh, I'm looking for a new accountant, or I'm looking for someone to paint my, siding in my house, or I'm looking for a dog walker, or I'm looking for a psychologist. It could be anything. Looking for a baker. And so when you join these town pages, it's kind of like you're doing reconnaissance of sorts. So that's important too. To get tapped in, it's so important. Yeah, to get tapped into social media again. Facebook, Instagram, X, aka Twitter. And I would say, if you're someone who's really introverted and you don't like that stuff, all right, then don't do it. But you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Um, so, anyways, but yeah, breathe. It's gonna work out. No, it's gonna work out for you. You gotta be proactive. You can't just sit there and hope and pray. God helps those who help themselves. You gotta, you might have to get 4 jobs, and lower your standard of living. Maybe the kids aren't going to go to an Ivy League now because you have less money. They're going to have to go to a state school, or to a community college first. You got bills to pay. You know what I mean? Maybe you're not going to go on that Disney vacation this year or next year. You know, but you have your health. You're going to find something, even if you have to, you know, work at a job that is quote unquote beneath you. But hey, listen, I own a few businesses. I do balloon animals for part of my businesses. Is that my proudest moment, doing balloon animals? No, but you know what? Puts food on my table. It actually pays really lucrative. Uh, but I own an entertainment business, so one of the things we do is balloon animals, and yeah, so it's not beneath me, and nothing should be beneath you. That's a good, um, you know. Uh, Good, solid legal employment. Um, so what if you have to flip hamburgers? I've flipped hamburgers before. You know, humble yourself, you'll be exalted. Exalt yourself, you're going to be humbled. So you have to, and any kind of work is better than no work, even if it's volunteer work. Just you got to get out after the 2 days of crying and feeling bad for yourself. You got to get out. You got to feel useful. Because this is a big hit to your ego, to your spirit, to your wallet. Nobody wants to be in that, precarious, weak position where now, we all identify with our jobs, right? What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? So I totally get it. But anyways, things are going to get better. I promise you, you're going to be fine. You just, like I said, you're going to march on. You're going to keep your mind open. You're going to be humble. You're going to win, baby. All right. DJ Tony, over and out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, don't forget, like and subscribe. Thanks.